What is going on, everyone? My name is the California Cougar, and welcome to another episode of Survivor Season Review Series. Today, we are on season number 31, which is Survivor Cambodia, aka Survivor Second Chance. Now, I couldn't make a video last week, and I do apologize for that. I had a lot of work that I needed to be done, and I just didn't have time to make the video, so I do apologize for that. Hopefully, I can keep up these weekly uploads in the future. I did upload a video this weekend I did upload a video this weekend that was not Survivor related. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little video. It was short, but I feel like it was necessary to make up for the other videos, or to make up for not making this video last week. But yeah, anyway guys, let's talk about Survivor Cambodia. So Survivor Cambodia or the theme of Survivor Cambodia was second chances. These are essentially players that had only played once before and they were given a second chance. But the way these players were casted was a lot different. Instead of being cast by producers, these people were cast by the fans. Basically, the producers came up with 32 names to put on a ballot, and then based on what the fans voted for, the top 20 people would get to play Survivor, or would get to play a second game of Survivor. So, yeah, I like that element a lot. It gives the fans a little bit more control on who actually gets to play. I do think there were a couple snubs from the 32, or from among the 12 people that weren't chosen to be on the show. But overall, I think it was a very good way of bringing 20 people back, especially for players that, they played once before. A lot of them were fan favorites. So, yeah. So, let's go over the 20 people that were brought back. So, yeah, we had, let's see, I can bring this up. We had Vetus from Blood vs. Water. We had Shireen from Worlds Apart. I was always annoyed by Shireen, but I kind of figured she would come back. A lot of people thought she was good TV. This time around, she was not as annoying, but she didn't really last long enough. So I was kind of indifferent with her. Same with Vetus. Vetus didn't really last long enough either. And yeah, I'm going over the order of the boot list, by the way. You had PG from Survivor China. This is the first time she came back since season 15, so an old school player got in here. We also have Jeff Varner, the first time he's been brought back since Survivor the Australian Outback. He was the merge boot in that season, just barely missed the jury, and he came back this season, and unfortunately he missed the jury again. I do think he had potential as a player. He just got blindsided early on, got into a bad alliance. So yeah, he got kind of screwed on that. You also have, oh yeah, and I love the fact that Jeff Varner specifically mentioned he had not eaten peanut butter in 14 years, basically since he was voted off season 2. I just love that. You also have Monica from Survivor Samoa. I never really cared for her in Samoa. I do think somebody else could have come in instead of her. Maybe somebody like Natalie Tenorelli from Redemption Island. I would have liked to see her play again and see how well she could have done without Boston Rob there. I think that would have been a good person to bring back instead. Terry Dietz, man. I feel so bad for Terry Dietz after watching this season. I mean, the guy was a legend in Survivor Panama. He gets brought back finally after so many years and so many times fans wanted him back. So he finally gets brought back, and then he gets hit with a family emergency midway through the pre-merge and ends up getting pulled from the game. Man, I feel so bad for him. But, I mean, family emergencies are no laughing matter. If there's a family emergency while you're out there, you gotta go be with your family. That's just the way it is. And I'm glad Terry was willing to do that. He gave up his game to do that. He didn't quit the game. Jeff came to his beach and informed him of the situation, and then he recommended that Terry leave the game to go be with his family. And of course Terry said yes, wanting to be a good dad. So, yeah, it only makes sense. So, Yeah, like, it sucks, but I understand why he left the game. Hopefully he gets brought back for a future season again, because he needs a real second chance. He really does. So, yeah. And then you got Wu. Wu was funny. I mean, he's not really the best player, but he was funny. His blindside this season was great. Chaos Cass. I mean, how could you not bring back Chaos Cass this season if she's on the ballot? Obviously causing all that chaos in Cagayan. You also have Andrew Savage from Pearl Islands finally being brought back for a second season. About damn time that someone like him got brought back. Kelly Wigglesworth, probably one of the most disappointing players this season. Brought back from Survivor Borneo, the only person from Season 1, I believe, to be brought back. 15 years in the making for her. And she goes out there and does pretty much nothing with the time she's out there. I mean, I don't even remember what she did. The most iconic moment was her jury speech, where she asked the same question Greg Buis asked in Survivor Borneo. Choose a number between 1 and 10. I don't think that made a difference. I think she voted for Jeremy regardless. But yeah, Sierra, she voted out her mom. Good for her. I mean, they brought her back. She was another disappointment this season, I think. At least for me personally. I wasn't a big fan of her. Like, she got all upset because people weren't quote-unquote playing the game, even though they absolutely were. We'll get into that. But, yeah, like, she got all upset and called out everyone at Tribal because no one was playing the game. And then she got voted out for it. So, yeah, Stephen Fishback, I mean, he wanted to learn from his mistake of bringing JT to the end and Token Chains. Didn't really work out well for him. He got blindsided, but nonetheless, he was great this season. Great player to bring back, I think. Joe, of course, Joey Amazing from Worlds Apart. How could you not vote to bring him back? He was a fan favorite that season. Challenge Beast, and sure enough, once again, big Challenge Beast. And that moment with his dad at the loved one's visit, I thought was really good. I thought that was a really great moment. The family visit this season as a whole, I thought was really good. So yeah, I'm glad Joe made it far enough. The way he went out was kind of tragic. I mean, it was him and Keith in the immunity challenge, and he collapsed. He just straight up collapsed, passed out. And then he got voted off right away. It was devastating to see him go down like that. But, I mean, they had to get rid of him there because he could have easily swept all the immunity challenges. I mean, easily could have swept them all. So, yeah, we talked about Joe. Abby Maria. I was never a fan of Abby Maria. I always thought she was super annoying. And sure enough, this season, once again, just that same annoying voice that she has, always trying to get things to go her way, acting like a spoiled brat. She did the same thing this season. It was annoying. And she ended up getting 7th. I think she was 2 spots below her previous placement or something like that. And then we get to Kimmy. Kimmy was an interesting one. I'm not really sure why they brought her back. I guess cool, they got another old school player from one of the first 3 seasons, but did she need to be brought back, especially over someone like T-Bird, who was on the ballot but was not voted in? That kind of surprised me. I thought for sure T-Bird was going to get on the ballot. But yeah, I feel like T-Bird from Survivor Africa was way more iconic, way more liked than Kimmy was. So yeah, I would have rather seen T-Bird than Kimmy. But that's just me, of course. Especially since we brought back Jeff Varner. We already got someone representing Survivor Season 2. So, I mean, that's just my personal preference. However, the Tribal Council where Kimmy got voted out, iconic. One of the best Tribal Councils ever in my eyes. And then you got Keith from Season 29, Mr. Stick to the Plan himself. Yeah, he made it very far once again, won a couple immunities. Pretty much the same player that he was before. And then probably the biggest redemption story arc of the entire season is Kelly Wentworth. She didn't really do much in Season 29, so I was kind of surprised that fans voted to bring her back because she was one of the first 5 people. I think she was 5th out in Survivor San Juan del Sur, along with her father. I mean, yeah, she got screwed over by a swap. It was just, that was a really bad swap for her. But then again, she didn't really do that much that season. So, yeah, I was kind of surprised that she was brought back. But man, this season was quite the turnaround for her. She played harder than pretty much anybody else out there. You could argue that she would have won had she made the final three. I think she had a real shot at winning. She was finding idols. I think she won a couple immunities as well. And she was making good relationships with everyone. The whole Witches Coven thing with Cass, Abby, and Sierra. I wasn't a fan of that per se, but I mean, that was a big reason why she made it so far. Her idol play to get Savage out was amazing. And yeah, like she turned her whole game around and she was really good this season. I was rooting for her to win by the end of the season. I really was. So yeah, good job, Kelly Wentworth. You had a hell of a season. And then you have Spencer. Spencer, he was okay. Unfortunately, he was kind of just a shell of himself, or of his Kagayan self. He made it to the final three, but he obviously didn't win. I mean, he wasn't a bad player per se this season, but he just didn't make any good relationships with the jury, and that's why nobody on the jury liked him or wanted to vote for him. So, yeah, it was unfortunate to see the fall of Spencer this season. Same with Tasha. I mean, Spencer and Tasha kind of go hand in hand. They were just kind of together the whole time, and neither of them really did much. I think Spencer won some immunities, but that's really all he did. And then, of course, you had Jeremy. And Jeremy had the winner's edit from pretty much the post-merge on, because he was playing hard. I don't remember if he found any idols. I think he did. Yeah, he found a couple idols, because he played one at the Final Six Tribal. But, yeah. Like, I think he won one immunity, not being the Final Four. He had the story with his wife being pregnant, which he brought up to the jury at the Final Tribal, which obviously I think helped him get some votes, but I think he was going to win anyway, so I don't really think that mattered too much. But yeah, Jeremy was very good this season. He was a good candidate to bring back. Now, let's see if I can find the players that did not get brought back. Let's see, because yeah, there were several players that did not get brought back. Okay, so here's the list. We got T-Bird from Survivor Africa. I'm very surprised she wasn't brought back. I think she was an iconic character. I don't know how well she would have done this season, though. So, yeah, I feel like she would have been a pre-merge boot because, I mean, she's an older woman at this point, and I don't know. I just don't know how well she could have competed. She's an old-school player, older woman. Probably would have hurt her game a little bit. So, yeah. Brad Culpepper, I'm not really sure why he was on the ballot to begin with. But, again, that's just, like, I mean, yeah, he was alright in Blood vs. Water. He was good TV, but he didn't really have that good of a game, I don't think. Max Dawson from Survivor Worlds Apart. He was an interesting one to bring back. Again, I think same reason as Shireen. But, yeah. Mike Holloway, he was on the ballot, and he actually did receive enough votes to get into the top 20. But the thing is, they wanted to pick players that had never won. And when the ballot was made, Worlds Apart was still going on, so we didn't know who had won. And so once Mike Holloway won, then he was disqualified from the ballot. So, yeah, and I think that's perfectly fair. I forgot to mention that in the whole ballot thing, being no previous winners. So yeah, that's why Mike didn't play. Shane Powers, a little surprised he wasn't voted on to the cast because he has been getting screwed over so many times by production where they always consider him but they never bring him back. And I don't know why. He was an iconic character in Panama. Would have loved to see him come back. Jim Rice, kind of the same thing. He was he was probably one of the best things about South Pacific, if I'm being honest. And, yeah, I'm a little surprised that he wasn't brought back either. Carolyn from Worlds Apart, she was okay. Didn't really care whether or not she got back. Same with Troyzan. I would have liked to see Troyzan play again, but maybe not for that type of season. Although, yeah, it would have been cool to see him play, I think. Natalie Tenorelli. I wanted her to be back so bad because I want to see her play without Boston Rob and see how she would do. I really do think she would be so much better in a game without Boston Rob around her, like some other returning superstar player to like carry her all the way to the end. I really think she has a lot of potential to be one of the better Survivor players. Like she could have had a story like Kelly Wentworth, been like the comeback kid. I really think she could have been like a Kelly Wentworth type player. So yeah, I would have liked to see her back. Sabrina from One World, didn't care that she didn't make it. Same with Stephanie from Redemption Island, didn't really care. She's got Stephanie has potential as a player, but who cares? And then Michaela from South Pacific, again, who cares? I didn't really see too much potential in her anyway. So that's the cast, right? Big cast. Now let's talk about some of the moments this season. One of the big criticisms that this season always gets is the voting blocks because it confused people. Isn't that the point, though? I mean, I love it because it makes it unpredictable. Like, you don't know who the hell's going to get voted off. And, like, it made the show so much less predictable. This is one of the most unpredictable Survivor seasons, and that's one of the main things that I love about it. Like, it's such a good season, and the voting blocks is one of the main reasons why. Pretty much post-merge on, it's one of the best post-merges ever, I think. Like, you had no idea who was going to get voted out because there wasn't any one set alliance. Yeah, you could argue Spencer, Tasha, and Jeremy, but they voted differently at certain points. It wasn't really until Final 6 that it was like a solid 3 alliance with Kimmy kind of as an outsider, and then you have Kelly and Keith trying to fight their way back in. Like, it wasn't really until top 6 that came about. So yeah, I love the whole voting block element to it. And that's kind of why the pre-merge was a bit slow for me. Like, the pre-merge, yeah, it had a couple blindsides, like Woo, but, I mean, other than that, there wasn't really much to it. The Vetus boot was whatever. The Shireen boot, we kind of saw it coming. I mean, yeah, like Spencer could have gotten voted out at that tribal, but he was never going to get voted out. Like, they needed him for challenges. So, yeah, it was just kind of predictable. I mean, the PG boot was okay. Varner boot, fine. But, yeah, the pre-merge, it was just a bit slow. Like, it wasn't a bad pre-merge, per se. But it was a bit slow for my taste, I think. I still liked it, but, yeah, and some of the challenges in the pre-merge were also a little bit lackluster. And I think this was the season where they started doing a lot more endurance challenges as well in the post-merge. And I don't like endurance challenges as much. There's really nothing going on. It's just people trying to hang on to something for as long as they can. It's just kind of boring. And they've been doing that a lot in the most recent seasons, and it's been kind of annoying. I think this was the season that really started it. But yeah, some of the tribal councils were super entertaining. The Savage boot was, well, savage. Pun intended. Even though Savage wasn't the one who orchestrated it, because obviously he was voted out. But Kelly Wentworth playing her idol was amazing. I can't believe that Alliance did not split the vote. That was crazy to me. They were dumb enough not to split the vote there. And then Kelly plays her idol and just completely shocks everybody. And Savage goes home. Like, that was an awesome blindside. The Cass boot was fun. The Stephen Fishbach boot was fun. I believe there was the Sierra boot. That was the other one because Jeremy plays an idol for Stephen Fishbach, and Fishbach gets 5 votes, and then yeah, like Sierra goes home after that. So that was a fun boot. So many entertaining tribals. Like, even the Abby boot was good. There were just so many great entertaining tribal councils in the post-merge of the season, and the pre-merge too, you could say. But the best tribal by far, and probably one of the most complex tribals, and that's why it's so good, is the Final 6. Because you have Jeremy and, not Kimmy, Wentworth. They're the ones getting votes here. Like Jeremy, Spencer, and Tasha, they vote for Wentworth. Keith and Kelly vote for Jeremy. They also get Kim to flip to that side and vote for Jeremy. Kelly plays her idol first, forces Jeremy to play his, basically. Like, I feel like they should have gone after Tasha at first because, although then again, I don't know if they knew Jeremy had an idol. I don't remember. But, yeah, Spencer had immunity. I do know that. But, yeah, like, they vote for Jeremy. The vote's tied, but they're all negated for idols. Spencer has immunity, so he can't go home. So, and now Jeremy and Wentworth are immune. So the only people that can go home at this point are Keith, Kimmy, and Tasha. The Kimmy, Keith, and Kelly alliance, they vote for Tasha because that's the only person they can vote for at this point. And then the other three vote for Kimmy to punish her for turning on them, essentially. And then, like, that vote gets tied. No one wants to switch their vote. And Jeremy, Spencer, and Tasha are like, we're not sending Tasha home. There is absolutely no shot. So either Keith goes home or Kimmy goes home. Which one is it? That's basically what they did. And eventually they came to a consensus to vote Kimmy out. So kind of a devastating way for Kimmy to go home. But nonetheless, it was absolutely amazing the way that tribal played out. And that pretty much sealed the victory for Jeremy right there. The final tribal was a sweep, so Jeremy swept the vote. Like, there was no chance Tasha or Spencer were getting any votes, I don't think. Because everyone, like, Jeremy just played so well. Like, his loved one visit was great. His story with the baby and all that was fantastic. Like, he was just the best all-around player that season, and I'm very satisfied that he won. So, overall, guys, Survivor Cambodia, there's not really much else to it. I love this season. Like, do I think it's a perfect season? No, but it's definitely one of the better seasons that we had. Pretty much, it's the best one since Cagayan at that time, and it's just such a good season to watch. Again, the pre-merge was a bit slow, a couple predictable moments here and there. The cast, not the best cast they could have chosen from the 32 people on the ballot, I don't think. There were some disappointments, but overall, like, the positives absolutely outweigh the negatives here, I think. So, yeah, I mean, Survivor Cambodia, absolutely fantastic season. With that being said, I'm going to give Survivor Cambodia a 9 out of 10. Alright, and there's my review of Survivor Cambodia. If you have seen Survivor Cambodia, let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button on this video if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos to come in the future. Hopefully I can get one video uploaded every week. I can keep going on my little Wednesday schedule that I've been doing for the rest of these Survivor reviews. We only have 9 more after this one, so we're getting closer. And so far, Survivor Season 41 hasn't started filming yet, although it's supposed to start filming in the summer, I believe. But yeah, like, all our reviews should be done by then, so we'll get done before Season 41 starts. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and until my next Survivor review, once again, my name is the California Cougar, and always remember to stay California cool. Peace!